Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and for this video, we're going to be talking about the Conquest Pass and the Conquest Pass Plus. And I want to cover both of them. We're going to talk about a couple of things with them. Number one, obviously what do they give you? Number two, what the target audience is, and how well I feel that they're worth it. I think in some cases, the Conquest Pass is better for some players, and I think the Conquest Plus Pass being better for other players. So we'll kind of get into that a little bit, give you guys my thoughts, and let you decide how each one, if you are interested in buying them, right? I'm not saying you should go buy them. I think they're good value. I wouldn't say I'd say they're both good value. I'd say one is definitely better than the other, and we'll get into all that stuff. So that, want to get that out of the way, and I want to thank my channel members. Thank you guys so much for your continued support of this channel. You all are amazing. I was incredibly humbled over the weekend when we got the gifted channel memberships and we, got some more. Like, it really, I was humbled, guys, and I'm honored that you are willing to support this channel. Me and all of, the rest of the Wampa clan alike really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your continued support. Guys, if you're interested in joining channel memberships, link in the description down below. Otherwise, smash that subscribe button, leave likes, leave comments, and let me know your thoughts. Let's get into the game. So, the Conquest Pass. And when you go into the Conquest, obviously you see the Conquest Pass everywhere. So, we'll go into the reward track here. So first is the $10 pass, right, the Conquest Pass, and that just unlocks the premium reward track, which is awesome. If you get up to, and this is the thing with the premium reward track, just keep in mind, you're only going to earn the rewards based on how many key cards you earn. So if you only make it to this point in Conquest, you're not going to get any of the rewards from here to here, right? You won't earn them. It doesn't give you all of those. You have to earn the key cards to get it. So there is an aspect to this Conquest Pass that you need to understand. The value of it is probably, I'd argue that they probably took all of this stuff into consideration when valuing the pack, but I'd even argue that, if you're getting to this point, or maybe even, somewhere along in here, the pass is still probably worth the money. So it's not just that you get this premium reward track, which has 20 Malicos shards total. If you get all the way to 578 cards, you'll get 20 Malicos shards total. And you'll end up being able to get 30 of the Fury class Interceptor, which I think is really good for a lot of players, that it frees up your currency of what you need to spend in order to obtain those characters. So that alone, right, 30 of the Fury class Interceptor, 20 Malicos, means that if you were to get the max crate, you don't need to spend any of your currency on purchasing Malicos shards, right? You don't need to do any of that because you will have already gotten there, right? You'll already have, purchased that stuff. If you get the Conquest, if you buy the how am I saying this? Gosh, I can't, all mixed up here. So if you get the max crate, you will never need to purchase the current Conquest characters units shards if you buy the Conquest Pass. Which means, right, you're not only getting all these rewards up here, which is nice. There's some core gear, there's Datacron materials, some extra little Conquest stuff, which you don't really need. But again, you're getting some good stuff there. But the other side of that is your Conquest currency. You're going to be able to spend that however you want in the Scavenger. So when you come here, you're going to be able to purchase whatever you want out of the Conquest Scavengers. And that's where I think this $10 starts to be so much more valuable to players. That you can go in and buy signal data, you can buy relic materials, you can buy gear. So it not only gives you, like, you're not just buying the shards and then that's it. You're being able to use that currency for other things as well. And that's where I think a lot of the value of the Conquest Pass is. The ability to be able to use that stuff for other things. So that's one huge thing with the Conquest Pass that I don't think it's covered enough, is the, getting those rewards allows you to do some things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. Now, in terms of the, so that's just the $10 pass, right? That's it. You just get the premium reward track. I think that's probably some of the best money you can spend in the game. As long as I'd say you're getting to, I'd argue that if you get to, I'd say here, to like 530-ish, as long as you get to here, you're probably making some, you're making the most out of that Conquest Pass. If you're getting here, it's still good value, but you're definitely, you're missing out on a few things. Again, I'm not saying that you can't buy it if you're here, but you are missing out on a couple of those shards that are important. So you just kind of take that into consideration, that each time you're not getting to one of these areas, you're missing out on those rewards. So that's the, that's the, I can keep clicking out. That's the Conquest Pass, the $10. Now, for $30, you get the Premium Reward Track and the Conquest Pass Plus. Now, you get all these additional rewards, which we'll cover. But the first thing that they say is data disc can be unequipped and swapped for no cost and gain access to a bonus Proving Grounds event. So let that sink in. You can not only switch your data cards as much as you want, but you can also get an additional day of Proving Grounds. Now, for some players, you're going to be like, well, what's the point? I don't need that. And I would agree. I would agree that most players who, if you're getting the max crate, it doesn't matter. You don't need extra Proving Grounds days. But for a lot of players who maybe don't play Conquest as much and are willing to spend some money, the Proving Grounds is great. Being able to do 2 times Proving Grounds is unbelievably good. And I think if you're a newer player and you're trying to rush Commander Tano, Maul, somebody like that, an extra day of Proving Grounds is massive. Just, let that sink in of how well that's going to boost your account. As well, you're going to get almost 50% more Conquest energy generation. So your Conquest, energy is going to be generating 50% more quickly, which is going to not only allow you to do more battles and get, more stuff done, but you're going to get stamina regeneration on top of that. And again, I'll kind of cover those things in a little bit, show you guys what I mean. So you get extra stamina regeneration, which is great. It's going to allow you that maybe you don't have as large of a roster and you might need to use one team to get a bunch of feats. The stamina regeneration is going to make that so much better. It's going to allow you to do, I think, right now you can do 4.8 battles a day. You get 48 stamina regeneration a day. If you get 33 more percent, that turns into an additional 16% stamina, which means you can go up to 6.3 battles a day and still regenerate your full, get back to 100%. So that's the energy and that's the stamina. There's 2 other things to cover here before we get to the, some of the other stuff. You get a deployable cooldown systems and you get over-prepared 1 as part of this pass. As long as, some Kyra attacks, some of these other things. So you get some decent value in here. But why did I mention deployable cooldown and the over-prepared? When you scroll down here through your global feats, right, you come up to this feat here that you need to complete a battle with over-prepared 1, which you need to complete this feat for, kills with Seer Cal or Jedi Knight Cal, or purchase the Conquest Pass Plus and get the over-prepared. So by purchasing the Conquest Pass Plus, you're getting all that stuff, plus you're getting 16 data cards right here. And it's also allowing you to skip the Wookiee feat here, which is another 16 burritos. So you're getting 32 burritos for free. Or 32 for free. You're getting 32 burritos by purchasing the Conquest Pass Plus, which for a lot of people, these feats right here are very, very difficult. Right? A lot of players will not get these 2 feats. So that's going to put you in a much better position to not only earn more data cards, but also push you closer to being able to complete that max crate, because you can skip up to, I forget how many cards you can skip, but it allows you to skip some other feats. Like this one, you could potentially skip this feat, and as long as you get everything else, you're moving forward. So that is really nice. And when they were asking for advice on the Conquest passes, one of the things that I said was, when I was saying, what could make people buy it, and I was obviously speaking for other people, as you guys know I don't spend money, but I said that one of the things they should do is allow it to give you progress towards feats. That I think it should have given you burrito cards, and that's exactly what they did, and that's awesome. I think that is fantastic, and they took away one of the more grindy feats too, which is amazing. So, CG, that's a win. I think the Conquest Pass Plus is so much better now with the extra Proving Ground days and those 2, allowing you to be able to get these 2 things. That's massive. That is so good and really, really good for the game in terms of players who do want to spend money. So who are the target audiences? We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about who the intended audience is for these different things. So the Conquest Pass, just the one where you're getting like the $10 pass, this is kind of designed for players who you're getting that box 5 to box 6 and you're trying to get some additional Malicos shards, probably box 5 players. Those guys who aren't going to get Malicos in 6 conquests, or maybe they're going to get him in 6 conquests, but they feel like they need to spend that currency on other things. That's exactly who this is intended for. It's, obviously getting the max crate is great, but I think a lot of players who get that max crate would look at the Conquest Pass and probably say, well, I can get the character to 7 stars and not spend the $10. People will weigh that, right? Those rewards, everybody's preference, but I think it's really designed for those box 5 and 6 players who just need a little bit more help getting that Conquest unit. Because again, that's all that premium reward track where you're really making your money there is the Conquest character. The core gear and all that stuff is great, but that's kind of just fluff compared to just getting the extra shards for those characters. So that is huge, right? I mean, it really is. But I think that the target audience there are those players who are going to struggle to get Malicos in 6 conquests, or maybe you want to get them a little bit earlier. If you're getting box 6, it's going to take you 6 full conquests. If you're buying the shards to get Malicos, you buy the Conquest Pass, and you're going to get him after 4 conquests. So you're going to get him a lot earlier. Okay, so the next one, the 2 times Proving Grounds, which is holy, right? For Proving Grounds, I would say, and I don't have all the Proving Grounds characters here, I just have a couple. This is definitely designed for newer players. That $30 pass is for those newer players getting to 4 million GP that want to get their Commander Tano, Maul, Malgus, they want to get rocking and rolling. That $30 pass is really designed for those players. Because understand how much that's saving you in Proving Grounds refreshes. Now, the caveat here, just keep it in mind, if you're doing that, yes, you're earning those characters doubly as fast, but are you going to be able to gear all of them at the same time? Are you going to have the Kyratex to gear Maul, Malgus, Commander Tano, Ben Solo, whoever, right? Are you going to have all of that stuff ready to go when you unlock them? Because, yeah, that double thing sounds great, but, it's only saving you, you think of it this way, it's only saving you the crystals, or it's only really helping you if you're gearing them before, they would be around the next time, right? That, you're only saving a certain, it's going to take you, say, 6 months to get these characters instead of or it's going to take you what? I forget how long it takes to get the Conquest characters, like a month and a year and a half or something, whatever it is. Someone do the math. Someone smarter than me do that. It's what, 17? Is it 17 Proving Grounds? So now it's going to take you 9 Proving Grounds. Or, are you going to be able to gear those characters in that period of time? You be the judge of that. Or would it have been better just to spend a few of those crystals here and there? Again, just, putting it out there, the extra Proving Grounds. And I think if you were to do the refreshes, if you do that math of the 2,200 crystals over, I do want to look. That's actually a really good thing that I just thought of there. See that? I even thought on the fly here. So, yeah, look at that. 2,200 crystals is, call it $15 maybe, right? So half of that value is in a single refresh. So if you're thinking of doing multiple refreshes of you may as well get the Conquest Pass Plus and get an extra day. It will really help you a lot. So that's my, who is it really, who's that one intended for? These guys. Now, the stamina portion of that is intended for players who I would put myself in this bracket, where I have the Clone Troopers, and to get wins with Clone Troopers, I basically am going to be stuck using my Bad Batch. So I need to use these guys 4 times a day for 10 days straight. And that's it's a good bit of energy, it's a good bit of stamina every day. It's not fun. But if I'm getting more energy and I'm getting more stamina, I can get this done a lot more quickly. And this is just one example, but you think maybe you're like, man, I just really need to use my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren or my Jabba the Hutt a lot. Stamina is helping you. You're going to be able to use that character and that team more often, and that's going to lead you to probably be more successful in Conquest. Just getting through those things. Think about being able to farm feats. It's a lot faster to get those done. And then the energy is going to help you a lot of players with Datacron farming. I think that's where the energy really comes into play, because eventually that excess energy, you're just going to sit there and spam those Datacron nodes, which for a lot of the end game players, I think that's where they're going to buy the Conquest Plus Pass, is the Datacron farming outside of it. They're going to get so much more resources, so many more Datacrons out of that, because their stamina is not the stamina, but their energy is increasing faster. And now that you can sim those nodes, I think a lot of players will do that and look at this and say that's a win-win situation for them. Especially with all the other stuff it's giving you. I think that's solid. It's going to give them, I think they did a really good job of saying to players, if you want to spend less time in Conquest, get the Conquest Plus pass. And then, of course, like you've got the deployable cooldowns and over-prepared situation, right, which is helping basically anybody who doesn't have those characters and doesn't feel like doing the grinding, which, again, is saving time. But remember one thing about both of these passes is that they can be bought at any time. Now, the caveat here is that with the Conquest Plus pass, that's a decision I would make at day one of Conquest. You've got to make that decision day one so you get the full benefit of the extra stamina, energy regeneration. You really want to be using that. You really want to be like of the mindset, I'm going to buy that day one. That's a day one purchase. But the way that, these Conquest passes work, particularly like in the premium reward track, if I was to buy the Conquest pass at the very end of Conquest, 20 minutes to end, I buy that Conquest pass. I can claim all of these rewards at once. I don't need to do it along the way. Like you can buy this pass a week in, you can buy it 10 days in, you could buy it, literally 20 minutes left, claim all the rewards. And I think that offers a lot of players that flexibility of, well, maybe you weren't able to spend as much time in Conquest this time, some things came up, life got busy, whatever. Hey, I can spend $10, get some additional shards, and that'll make up for the time that I missed in Conquest. So I think that's a really important thing for players to understand as well, that maybe you're someone who you don't mind spending here and there, but it's not something you like to do often. Something you can kind of wait on, see how far you get, and maybe you activate that pass to get you over the hill, or just because you felt like it. I mean, it's all up to you. But it was something I wanted to cover, and I really think with that deployable, with them, they really made some solid changes to this. They really did. I want to give my hat off to CG here. That survey they put out, this was really good. The Proving Grounds event is amazing. That is some really good stuff. And I think for newer players who are looking to spend money, it's not a bad thing to do. Right? It's not a bad thing to do. The extra energy regeneration going to help you as well, because you're going to have a smaller roster than someone like myself who can create multiple different teams to get through these events. So that's the end of the video, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.